Okay, let's talk about a masterclass in flipping the script. This story starts, get this, with the monster's terror. We feel the villain's fear before we even know why. It's just an amazing piece of storytelling, so let's break down how it hooks you in so well.
Right from the jump, we're not with our hero. Nope. We're inside the head of the monster, feeling this primal instinctual dread. And just like that, the whole script is flipped. We're not asking, how will the hero win? We're asking, what in the world could make a monster feel this kind of pure, inescapable terror? It's a perfect hook, right? It just sets up this insane power imbalance from the get-go.
So to figure that out, we gotta meet the guy behind all this fear. And look, this is not your average run-of-the-mill villain. This is a guy whose genius was only matched by how much he was let down by the world. And that disappointment, well, it sent him down a really dark path. And what makes this so good is that Dr. Genos isn't just some crazy mad scientist, you know? The story actually gives him this surprisingly tragic backstory. He was a visionary. He wanted to lift humanity up, but the very people he was trying to help just laughed at him. So his ambition, yeah, it's monstrous, but it comes from a real, deeply messed up place of purpose.
And this right here, this is where you see the story's hilarious clash of worlds. On one hand, you've got Dr. Genos with his grand philosophical dream, his plan that took decades to build, and then it just smacks right into the brick wall that is Saitama's complete and total apathy. I mean, the fate of humanity's on the line, and our hero's just like, yeah, can you sum that up in 20 words or less? It's brilliant.
Alright, so when our heroes finally decide to take the fight to the enemy, that clash just explodes into pure action. Their plan for storming this heavily guarded science fortress is, well, let's just say it's not exactly subtle, and it absolutely shatters every single expectation the villain had.
I mean, this just perfectly shows you the kind of power scale we're talking about here. Genos, our favorite cyborg, he doesn't even think about stealth or tactics. He just looks at the 8-story building and, poof, incinerates the whole thing in one giant blast. And all those clever traps and defenses Dr. Genos set up, yeah, they're just gone, wiped out in a split second. You can almost feel the shock, right? For the very first time, Dr. Genos' whole cool, calm, and collected vibe just shatters. His grand plan is literally up in smoke. So now he's forced to play his last card, his most dangerous creation. His ace in the hole just became his only move.
And this is where the story pulls a classic move to ramp up the tension. See, to really show you how mind-blowingly strong a hero is, you first have to introduce a villain who seems completely, totally unbeatable. You gotta set that bar for terror as high as it can go, just so you can smash it to pieces later.
So, say hello to Ashura Kabuto. The great irony here is that he's considered a failure because he's just too powerful. He's a self-aware weapon, so dominant that the first thing he does is turn on the guy who made him. This is no mindless monster. He's a smart, arrogant machine of pure destruction. He is the new high watermark for terror.
And to really hammer this point home, the story does something genius. It takes Genos, who we already know is an incredibly strong S-class hero, and just has him get completely taken apart. Ashura Kabuto just dismantles him like it's nothing, treating him like a rag doll. And it's all just to show us, the audience, how terrifyingly strong he is.
And then, once again, this absolutely horrifying display of power is met with the most casual, deadpan line you can imagine. Genos is a total wreck, he looks like a piece of modern art, and Saitama's big concern is delivered with all the urgency of telling a friend they've got a little spinach in their teeth. That tonal whiplash is just perfect.
Okay, this brings us to the absolute core of the whole thing. The theme, the comedy, everything. This is the moment. The ultimate monster, the peak of scientific evolution, comes face to face with this impossible power, and he just has to know the secret.
Remember that primal instinct from the beginning? It's screaming at Ashura Kabuto now. It knows it's looking at something that just shouldn't exist, something that breaks all the rules. And at this point, both the villain and all of us watching are leaning in, dying to know the answer. Come on, what is the secret to this insane power?
And the big secret, the grand reveal, turns out to be a totally normal basic workout. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10K run every single day. It's so unbelievably simple, so mundane, that everyone who hears it just thinks he's joking. It has to be a joke, right?
And what makes the anticlimax even funnier is how they present it.
The story frames this ridiculously simple routine with all the drama and flair of some epic training montage. You see the blood, the sweat, the struggle over 3 long years. It's all designed to build you up for this big reveal, which just makes the simple truth of it even more hilarious when it lands.
And this is so important for the character. Saitama's power is just so huge, it's so far beyond what anyone can wrap their head around, that even his own disciple, Genos, can't accept the simple truth. He needs it to be a secret, some kind of crazy mutation, anything but what it actually is. And that refusal by everyone to believe him, that's at the very heart of who Saitama is.
But wait, there's more. Just when you think the story has dropped its biggest punchline, it hits you with one final gag that perfectly explains our hero's entire worldview and what really gets him going. So Ashura Kabuto is seeing red. He goes into his ultimate form, Ashura mode, and he's screaming that he's gonna go on a week-long rampage and destroy everything. It's the ultimate threat from the ultimate villain. But in the middle of his big, scary speech, he makes one tiny fatal mistake. He mentions that it's Saturday.
And that's it. One punch, the fight is over. And what triggered it? Not the threat of a city being destroyed, not thousands of people in danger. Nope, it was the sudden, horrible realization that he was gonna miss the super sale at the grocery store. The whole thing ends because of a minor, everyday inconvenience.
So Dr. Genos sees all this happen, and his entire worldview just collapses. He sees a power that makes no scientific sense, triggered by the most boring, everyday reason you could think of. He didn't just lose the fight, he lost his entire reason for being. It was a total, absolute defeat on every single level.
So what this all shows us is how you can build up insane levels of tension and then just pop the balloon with a perfect joke. And that joke tells you everything you need to know about the hero. It leaves you with this one nagging question. If the peak of scientific evolution, a monster that could level a city, was taken out because of a grocery sale, what in the world could possibly be a threat to this guy?